Here it is, Friday night. I suppose everybody's getting ready for the weekend. Pretty day today. I think maybe it's going to be a pretty day tomorrow, so you need to start taking advantage of these pretty fall days. I can sit on my couch and look straight across the room at my big picture window. I can see out over the treetops. You can see about the top 10 feet of the trees in the neighborhood, and they're all in color. It is so pretty to just be able to look through that window, and I see the yellow, red, and gold, and orange, and a little bit of green mixed in between, and it's really a pretty sight in my neighborhood. I wish you could see it. I'd like to be able to get in the car and set my camera up on the dashboard and just slowly drive down the street, taking in the trees, taking in the beautiful homes, so you can see the neighborhood where I live. Now, when you see these beautiful houses, don't get the idea that I live in one of them. I don't. I just dream about living in one of them. But, oh well. I guess a dream is better because you can always change it. Well, let's see. I need to do some catching up, and when I don't write things down, it's not easy to remember what you wanted to remind the people of. I've been getting so many nice compliments and good words from all of my viewers. I just don't know how to express my appreciation for all of you. You've been so nice to me. And the first thing I want to bring up is something I have overlooked. You send me gifts, you send me cards, you send me good wishes. And I'm one of these that if I lay something down, I forget about it, or I can't remember what I did with it. How long is it going to take me to find it? 5 minutes or 5 days? Well, that's what I've kind of done lately. I keep one end of my table where I work on my iPad and things. I keep one end where when I go down to the mail room to gather my mail, I come back up and I plop my letters right down at the end of the table. Mostly just ads and, bills from Spectrum and whatever, whoever I owe money to, doctor's office. So I just set them there and I don't look at them till later. Well, those bills and those statements and those letters can pile up on you. And you just don't pay any attention to them. If you're not needing to pay a bill, you just let them lay there. That's what I've done lately. And the big mistake I have made, I have had cards, letters, and gifts being sent to me by viewers. And I've laid them at the end of the table, laid more envelopes on top of them, and I forget about them. I forget. Now, the majority of you, I don't know by name or by face. I'm learning a few at a time. So, I can't remember who sent what. Yesterday, I reached over into that stack of mail and I found 2 or 3 envelopes I had not even opened. I could not believe I had done that. It's hard for me to know who you are if I've never met you, never seen your picture. So when I'm trying to think who sent me what, names won't come to my mind. Well, I'm just going to blame it on old age. You know, that's just how you get. I'm learning fast how you get. I hope you don't learn quite that fast. But I want to apologize to all of you for the notes and gifts you have sent me, and I have not responded. A few I know by name and I can comment, but I really don't like to respond on YouTube where everybody reads it. And so I don't quite know how to handle it. But I want you to know I'm going to thank all of you right now without mentioning names. I appreciate what you've done. I enjoy the things you send me. And one of those things yesterday happened to be a large envelope that had one of those, what is the Christmas calendar the countdown to 24 days of Christmas, those calendars. Someone had sent me one of those, and I could see it was a design like a garden calendar, and behind each number, 1 through 24, each number he opened a little tab that was like a little door, and it showed a flower. Probably, I don't know if the flower was this time of year or when it was, but I sneaked and looked at the first one, even though, see, I'm supposed to wait till the 1st of December to use that calendar. I had to see what was behind those little doors, and the first one showed a flower, and I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to be looking at a new flower every day for 24 days. But that had laid on my table at least 2 or 3 weeks before I discovered I had put it there. I'd seen it, but you know how you put it back in the envelope and you just lay it aside? That's what I did. I'm embarrassed to think that I let it ride, did nothing, didn't express my thanks, didn't express my pleasure at receiving the gift. That's bad. That's bad. Nobody should do that. So, I don't know any way to solve my problem. I mean, my problems are little this and little that and something else, and then I don't remember what I've forgotten. But as much as I appreciate your thoughtfulness, I would rather you did not send me gifts. I just don't feel that I've earned those gifts. Just stay with me on YouTube. Watch my videos. Respond to the things I say. That's what I want from you. I want to hear you talk. Well, I'll have to talk for you when I read it. But that's still you talking, you telling me your thoughts and your feelings. That's what I want instead of gifts. An occasional card, and don't swamp me down with Christmas cards. The other thing is postage. Postage is just out of sight. There are things I have wanted to send someone, and I've discovered the postage costs more than the item I'm sending. I don't like that. Don't like it at all. It just shouldn't be that way. And I don't want you spending your money for a lot of postage. Now, I received a gift yesterday. The lady told me it was coming. And I appreciate that too, being told It should arrive such and such day. That way I'm watching for it. I got that small package, and the mailing charges on that package were over $15. That's not right. I don't want you using your money or something like that. I'd just rather hear from you in person, talking to me, telling me what you think, what you like. Well, you can tell me what you don't like, but I prefer not to hear it. Just let me learn who you are. I'm learning a lot of names. Some of them are little passwords that I can't figure out. But when it has your name, I become familiar with your name. I've got one lady I'm really getting familiar with. Her name's Bonnie. I talked to Bonnie on the phone today. I'm not going to tell you how long we talked. And I'm not going to tell you what we talked about. But we sure had it going there for a while. She is such a delightful person, and she too, I saw her just yesterday, she too had left a gift for me. Now, Bonnie, you gotta cut that out. I'm running out of places to put my gifts. Well, I'll show you this one. It's so pretty. She left it in my car. I didn't see it till I got home. Look at the little turkey and the pumpkin salt and pepper shaker. Isn't that precious? Now, I should have had that a couple of weeks ago for my fall decoration, but I can still use it for Christmas and for Thanksgiving too. I may do another one. You never know when I'm going to do a table decoration. I just kind of get in the mood for it, and I start working on it. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. But I don't want to spend any more time talking about your kindness, what you do for me. You do more for me than you realize. That was the reason I started this YouTube channel. My daughter and my granddaughter said, you need something to do, and you can tell stories, so we're going to set you up with your own YouTube channel, and you're going to go back in time, and you're going to tell your life history, you're going to tell your family history, you're going to tell jokes, and you're going to talk about antiques. So for the last 2.5 years, which flew by, that's what I've been doing. And honestly, it has kept me alive. It has kept me thinking. I've reached that age where thinking is kind of hard to do anymore because you can't remember. I'm trying my best to hold that off, but I make mistakes now and then, and I forget names, a lot of names and places. You just have to bear with me and say, yeah, she's getting old. Yeah. And it's true. But you are helping me so much. And I hope just by talking to you that I've helped you a little bit too. Maybe I've taken you back in time and helped you remember your grandmother, or remembered a cousin that you had that you just enjoyed being with so much. I hope I'm doing that for you, because I feel like my time has been worth it. My time has been worth what I give to you. And to think I'm now 88 years, and as some people say, you've found your calling. I've been told that several times. I've found my calling at the age of 88. Well, it's true. I have to agree with them. It gives me something to think about every day. It keeps me alert every day. And it keeps me laughing every day. I love when you tell me funny stories. I'm going to tell you one more little thing. I'm not going to stay on here forever. I just had my dinner. I kept smelling something. Cooking. I went to the kitchen. I turned the oven off. It's not on. Came back in here and the smell's getting stronger. Who's cooking? I go back to the kitchen 3 times. The oven's not on. The 3rd time I looked, I had left a pot on top of the stove. Now don't tell me you've done this. I left a Quimper Ware pot with the lid on it on top of the stove. The heat was turned down low. I'd already eaten out of that pot. Chicken noodle soup. Well, I can't say much for chicken noodle soup, but the chicken was handy, the broth was handy, the noodles were handy. You know how that goes. Might as well use them. I'll make chicken noodle soup. It wasn't that great, but I looked up and the burner was still on under that chicken noodle soup, and it had cooked dry. Caught it just in time before the pot burned. Don't tell me what I shouldn't do. I know what I shouldn't do, but that doesn't mean I do it. Never have. I don't listen to advice too well. Never have. Do you? So anyway, we got that out of the way, and the pot's sitting in the sink with water in it, and I'm hoping that it won't be too big a problem scraping those noodles out of that and chicken off the bottom of that pan. And thank goodness I didn't invite you for dinner because it wasn't any good anyway. Okay, let's change the subject. See, I'm trying to catch up on the last few days, trying to remember what I should have told you and what I should keep to myself. A couple lady friends came to visit me yesterday, and we had the best day. It was a beautiful day. We went out to lunch. I took them to a tea room. They're not from Lexington, so I'm trying to take them places they've never been and things that I think they would enjoy. And, of course, we have to eat anyway. So we went to a special tea room. They had everything decorated in Christmas. It was so pretty. Now, can you imagine that? It's not even Halloween yet, and the whole shop was dressed up for Christmas. Really, really pretty. So we had a nice lunch. We went to the Goodwill stores. We went to the antique shops. And, of course, we stopped at Feather Your Nest and talked with Jan. It was her day to work. And naturally, all 3 of us girls ended up carrying something home from the antique shop. They got some pretty things, and so did I. Jan came by a few days ago. I was sitting at my dining room table. I don't know what I was working on. She pulled something out of a bag, set it down on the table in front of me, and she said, "Is this what you've been wanting?" I said, "Where did you get those?" "Oh my gosh, yes." She knew that this was a pattern I had fallen in love with back around 1980. But it was made in France, hand-painted, but I couldn't afford these dishes. they had different patterns, and they're more, they're a heavy, not glass, pottery, heavy pottery. They had scenes on them like peasant boys and girls, and they varied from flowers to different designs. 1980, I would see it in different antique shops and places, and I just drool wishing I could afford those dishes. A few years ago, I was downstairs visiting one of my neighbors, and she invited me in, and I looked around, and she had those dishes displayed beautifully in her living room and her dining area, and I'm telling you, I was drooling. I was so envious. Beautiful, beautiful dishes. Some of you, Jan doesn't care much for them, and you may not either, but it's just one of those things that I acquired a liking to them, and I wanted them. Now, Jan, when she set these pieces down in front of me, now I'm telling you, since 1980, I have never bought one single piece of Quimper Ware. It's spelled like Quimper, Quimper, but it's pronounced Quimper Ware from France. It's handmade, and every piece of it is signed and numbered by the maker. And these dishes have were being made 300 years ago. The patterns vary from flowers to children to peasant lady, a man in a black hat, and you can kind of visualize the simple. It's a simple pattern. It's not something so distinct. It has to be perfect. But I'm going to show you what Jan brought me. This was something I have, in all those years, I have never seen it anywhere. She went to an estate sale. Someone had already bought the dishes and left this behind. What they left behind, I want you to look close now. This is so cute. I want you to see this little Quimper Ware. You see that? It's about 6 inches long. You see the little square with the man in it? And at each corner, you see that little groove? That's an ashtray. That's where you put your cigarettes. See the little, what looked like a little plate? It isn't a plate. It's just a pattern in there. That is for your demitasse cup. Here is the demitasse cup. Let me turn it around so I can hold it this way. There you've got your demitasse cup. I'm going to see if I can rearrange this so you can get a good look. This sits on that little plate. And there's your little ashtray. I don't know how old these are, but I'll guarantee you, the lady downstairs that has all that Quimper Ware, she doesn't have these pieces. I've got 4 sets of them, and I think they are the sweetest things ever was. Now, I know it's an incentive to start collecting Quimper Ware. You don't see it very often, and I can't afford it. Now let me show you the back. You see, we got it upside down, folks. I can't read French right side up or upside down. Just bear with me. Got Quimper Ware, and it's got a number. This is the number at the bottom. I think it says 1016. That's what you're looking at. And this is what the front of it looked like. Now, aren't you envious of me? Well, I'm very tickled to get this, and I'm going to take real good care of it. This little Demitasse cup. I'm going to fix a really nice sparkling tea. Oh, and also, Henriot. It looks like Henriot. That's in English. But it's pronounced Henriot. You don't pronounce the H and you don't pronounce the T at the end. Henriot. Quimper. You learned something today, didn't you? I didn't know it either. I had to look it up on the internet to see how you pronounce it. And I think I pronounced it right. Henriot Quimper, France. Now, aren't you glad I showed you that? You're going to be jealous because I'm the only one that's got one of those sets. Let's see if there's anything else I can think of. Nothing new's been happening. I bought a new lamp. I love oil lamps. Love them. But the ones I want run $200 and $300 a piece. Well, I'm already clumsy enough. I don't need to get my hands on an oil lamp that I'd take a chance on dropping it and breaking it. They cost too much. But I bought one yesterday. I didn't buy one. I didn't get the one I really wanted. The one I wanted was $275, and I looked at it and I said, no, that doesn't belong in my house, because the first thing I'm going to do is hit it with my elbow and it's going to hit the floor. So I found another lamp. Actually, it's, my friend Bonnie told me what it was called. What did she call that? It's a put together. No, that's not the word. Bonnie's going to have to remind me what the word was. When you take the top of one piece and the bottom of another piece and you put them together. What did she say that was? You match them up. Well, that's what I did. I found the top of one lamp and the bottom of another lamp, and if you'll hang on right there, I'll show it to you. It's not one of the beauties that was $275, but it suits me. Now let me get my little trays out of the way. And I'm going to try to set this up in front of you where you can see it. It's a simple lamp. So in one end of the shop, I found this. See how it's made? I'll hold it way back so we can get a better look. There we go. I bought this, and lying on a table up near the checkout counter was this. I said, I think those will go together. So I got a chimney, put the chimney on the lamps, you know what the chimney is, and I slid my little shade down over it. And now you see my finished lamp. What do you think? Do you think I got my money's worth? I didn't pay very much for it. But I've got a few simple lamps. I've got one, the first one I had belonged to my mother. It was called a sewing lamp. You see them in antique shops everywhere you go. Those sewing lamps were used back in the days when they didn't have electricity. And the ladies got around the quilting frames and they had their oil lamps. And that's what they used to stitch their quilts and to use their old treadle sewing machines with. Then, of course, if you had a lot of money, your artist started doing the fancy lamps, beautiful fancy lamp. And I saw one yesterday. I didn't hint to Jan she could get it for me for Christmas because it really was too expensive and too beautiful for my taste. My taste is a little more toward the country look. Sort of simplified, but I still think I'm going to be doing a Christmas decoration, and you're going to see this lamp right in the middle of that decoration. It is an oil lamp. It's got the little spike thing where the tape goes right up through it. And Jan said, you need to fill it with oil. I don't want to fill it with oil. I want to leave it just like it is. But she said, well, if the electricity goes off, you can use it. Yeah, well, I'll just take a nap when the electricity goes off. And I'll be just fine. So anyway, I thought you'd like to see what I accomplished from our little runaround trip yesterday. And I don't know if I left anything important out. I don't think so. But my friend Bonnie called me today, and I'm not going to tell you how long we talked. Now, I'm not going to tell you what we talked about because I don't even remember. That's how important our conversation was. But we laughed a lot. She's a jewel. She's a jewel. She's one of my new friends. Yes. So we're going to be seeing a good bit of each other. We have to travel to visit. And her friend Joy, who is not on YouTube, she doesn't know how to use it, She's my age. Joy's my age. And Bonnie is Jan's age, so works very well together. So I thought I'd tell you about them. And it's amazing the people you can meet on YouTube. I'm getting to where I'm meeting them in the antique shops and meeting them in the grocery store, and they'll look at me and grin and say, are you Granny Pat? I'm afraid I am. Yeah, I've acquired the name, so I don't mind being called Granny Pat. I never had a granny, so now somebody can call me Granny. Hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say. It's just small talk when there's nothing important really happening. Everything is important, but not in a manner that everybody wants to just sit and talk about it. I like to hear people tell funny things, crazy things that happen. And I hope you like them too. I hope everyone is well today. Billie Jean better be getting better. I'm tired of listening to him whine. He's got to get the medicine that works for him. He's got to get better. Or I'm going to start whining. You hear that? Yeah, he doesn't take me too serious, Thank goodness he doesn't. So He's a very helpful person to me. He's done so much for me in working with my iPod, things that I never learned and still haven't learned. He pulls me through every time, whatever we're doing. So I think and I hope you appreciate watching him. He is a wonderful cook. Whatever he shows you, I recommend you try it. He is a very good cook, and he enjoys doing it, and he really wants you to watch him. So make sure you have subscribed to his channel and invite your friends and family to subscribe. If they like to cook, they'll cook with Billie Jean. There's no doubt about it. So that's your plug, Billie Jean, for today. And just get in the kitchen and eat a piece of that chocolate pie for me, please. I love good chocolate pie. So I'm going to get off here, show you my little Demitasse cup again. Don't you wish you had one of these? See that little name on the bottom? I'm just tickled pink. Doesn't take a lot to please me, but a few $100 bills stuck down that cup wouldn't hurt, would it? Thank you for watching me. I'm just being foolish today, and I hope you're being foolish too, because sometimes that's what we need, just to be a little bit silly, a little bit fun, and compassionate toward our friends. Thank you for watching.